Welcome, Gemini, to the Temple of Tarot, Astrology, and Yoga. My name is Ava, and I'm going to be your oracle for a Astro Tarot forecast. This is for the month of September 2025 and is relevant to you if your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign is Gemini. So Gemini, I'm a bit tardy, late. I usually, or at least I always try to create one of these Astro Tarot forecasts every single day, one after the other. But recently, a lot of you know I live out here off-grid on the big island of Hawaii. I only recently moved here, and there are often a lot of issues living so remotely, and my computer was giving me problems, so I had to take it in to this little town called Pahoa, not too far from here. It only has one computer store, but the gentleman who runs it is very knowledgeable. But I had to get upgrades in Chrome and iMovie and all these things, which caused an enormous learning curve for me. And for instance, I created a yoga video yesterday that had so many glitches in it that it just was driving me out of my mind. I don't know about you, I'm 73, and the advances in technology are often so complex that it just is one of the most frustrating things in the world to have to deal with it. And I apologize for all the delay. But here we go. Now, before we begin the reading, I just want to mention that I did actually, before all this went wrong, I created a video concerning my off-grid system, my solar and catchment system that provides me power and water out here. There's a lot of people that had been asking me to create this video because they were curious as to how it is living out here with nothing but solar panels and a very large water catchment, rain water catchment, to provide me with the needs that I have. I also have Starlink for internet. So I show you that. So if you're interested, please have a look and see. For those of you who are new, and there are many now who are new, and I thank you for joining and subscribing and becoming a part of this family of mine. What I do every month is I create an Astro Tarot forecast combining the sister esoteric arts of astrology and the tarot. I also add a little bit of yoga at the end of it that matches the energy of the readings. I use only the transits of Mars and Venus because I like simplicity and I want to kind of dive deeply into the events and energy of that particular month that we're examining. And this month is, of course, September 2025. And again, it's relevant to you if your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign is Gemini. Now this month, Mars is still transiting your fifth house. It's in the sign of Libra. But at the end of the month, on the 22nd, it moves into your sixth house as it moves into Scorpio. Venus, on the other hand, is in Leo and has been for a little while, and it stays there until the 19th of September, and then it goes into Virgo. This then is your third and fourth house. So let's examine the transit of Venus in your third and fifth. The third house is about your daily activities, your neighborhood, your siblings, and it's also about communication. So there's more communication, more activity with your neighbors and with your siblings. And because it's Venus, the planet of love and harmony and goodness of all kinds, these conversations will be very pleasant and productive, perhaps even of money, because Venus represents money as well. So there's increased harmony and affection with your neighbors, building new bonds, new relationships, even perhaps even romantic relationships from your neighborhood, your neighbors. Lots of social activity, especially during the first part of the month. Lots of communication with siblings, pleasant communication with siblings, enjoyable conversations. A very pleasant period socially. And you're since it's moving into the fourth house, by the end of the month, your home then becomes a very loving environment where you want to beautify it, where you want to make it comfortable, where you want to make it a place that welcomes company. This will be the effect of Venus during the first and second half of the month. Then with Mars, Mars is in the fifth and the sixth house. First again until the 22nd in your fifth house, and then it moves into the sixth. So you become more assertive in your romantic relationships. And remember, we've got Venus in the third and the fourth. So somewhere around your home, in your neighborhood, you may be developing a new romantic relationship. There's a desire for self-expression. The fifth house is about art, creativity, self-expression. Children. Maybe you want to engage in some kind of artistic endeavors with your children, encouraging them to develop their own artistic sensibilities. It brings a surge of energy for productivity. The sixth house is about work, and the Mars energy is about being very assertive, bold, daring, just simply energetic. So this is very good for work. Now the sixth house is also about your health. So you may then funnel more energy towards your physical well-being, your health. And so all in all, it's a great month for social interactions, finding love in your backyard, in effect, and communication, self-expression, even being more communicative in your work environment. Now, sometimes Mars does bring conflict and stress. So if that's the case, then it would more likely be in your work environment. The fifth house is about children. And so hopefully there's no conflict with your children. Be aware of that, heads up, just in case. But with Venus in your fourth house of home, it's unlikely that it will be your children. It's more likely to be in your work environment, if at all. So that's the ground base, the astrological ground base for the month. And now we can move into the tarot forecast, which I like to connect energetically, symbolically, to what the astrology is predicting for us. So let's move on then to your tarot forecast for September. And thank you very much again for joining, subscribing, and for perhaps partaking of one of my personal and private readings. I've been reading all my life practically since I was, I started when I was in my 20s. And I would recommend very highly that you learn how to read the tarot for yourself. The tarot cards can be a tremendous ally in times of need. But if you don't have that skill yet, you can avail yourself of one of my personal and private readings. And I also provide an opportunity for us to speak over the phone about your reading, if you would like. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next month for your astrology forecast. Now wait for your tarot forecast. Thank you, and namaste. Welcome, Gemini, to your tarot forecast for September 2025. This is relevant to you if your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign happens to be Gemini. So let's get to it. Here are my cards, and they are quite large, so it's difficult to shuffle, but I like to shuffle in front of you. And we're going to take two cards and turn them over so that we have at least a couple of reversals in the deck. Let me try to extract another. There we go, turn it around, and we can continue to shuffle. Woo. And so let's just get to it. We make 3 piles. And then we're going to reassemble these piles, and we're ready for your reading. I can hardly wait. All right. In the position, this is 4-card spread, by the way, if you're new. And the first card represents the overall energy or mood or theme, energetic theme of the month for you, Gemini. And look what we have here. Yay. We have the world. The world is a beautiful, beautiful card. It is the very last card in the major arcana, which follows the journey of the fool through life as he becomes wise, as the fool gains his wisdom. By the end of the deck, by this last card, the fool is in a position in which he will gain his wisdom. He will graduate from the school of life. So what we have here is a beautiful image. As you can see, there's a wreath. And wreaths are symbolic of victory, success, accomplishment. It's in the shape of a birth canal, representing the opportunity for rebirth, rejuvenation, revival, completion. We have a beautiful maiden who's in a sort of ecstatic dance as she awaits her rebirth. She has a shawl wrapped around her in what appears to be the form of DNA. It represents the last vestiges of her past that she must discard in order to create her new life, in order to complete, to finish the work, the journey. This is the overall mood or energy of the month, Gemini. The second card represents your challenge. And here we have your challenge, the Queen of Wands. She's the suffragette queen. She's the rebel queen. She's the bold, the daring, the beautiful queen. She's the Queen of Wands. Wands represent creativity, sexuality, initiative. She takes the initiative. She is confident about her creativity. And if we think about where Mars is in the fifth, in the house of creativity, certainly she embodies that. And since Mars is also moving into your sixth house of work, this is independence, being independent in your work, in your workplace, or being entrepreneurial, being a self-starter, not waiting for others to guide you, guiding yourself. She holds that wand. It's her power. Her creativity is her power. On the other hand, she holds a sunflower, representing again that inner flame, the sun. And she relies on her unique talents to achieve her power and control. That's your challenge. In the position of the unexpected, we have more wands, the Eight of Wands. Notice that these wands are flying like bolts of lightning, like arrows of love. You notice the sky completely clear. There's no obstructions, nothing holding you back. You are on fire. Be this in a romantic relationship, or in your work, or in your creative project, no holds barred. Simply, unrelentingly, you move according to your desires. The wands represent desire, deep desire. So, on a mundane level, it could be a trip by air to some place perhaps exotic or different in some way. Perhaps you're traveling with a lover. Or remember, we have Venus in the fourth of home. So maybe there's a home project that involves creativity, redecorating, rebuilding, refurbishing. But remarkably, there's no obstacle, no barrier to what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. It could be in your home or with your children or with your health even. Vibrant health, good health returns unexpectedly. Let's see how it all ends. Woo! You are a air sign. Swords represent air. So here we have the mind. This represents an idea, a revelation, a truth that comes seemingly, see how it comes out of a cloud, out of nowhere. You get an idea, a revelation, an inspiration, and you create a whole new landscape of ideas from it. This is the beginning. Remember, your challenge is to initiate, to be bold, and you are by the end of the month. Good Lord. People better stay out of your way, because this is extraordinarily powerful. And swords, the power of the sword is over the next 6 months. So what happens this month may, in fact, have its fruition in a 6-month period. So follow whatever idea comes to you, because it's going to be worthwhile, and it will allow you to create a whole new world of possibilities for yourself. That is your forecast. Now, this is what's coming next. This is Carlos Castaneda's book, and it's called Magical Passes, The Practical Wisdom of the Shamans of Ancient Mexico. And it's sort of like Mexican yoga. And each of these magical passes is very powerful, almost in a very tribal way. And I will try to choose one. So to familiarize yourself with this really extraordinary yoga, I will give one of these passes to you that correlate with the energy of this reading. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. And if you would like a reading from me personally, there's a link below. I also will include the possibility of a phone conversation with me about your reading if you choose to have a reading from me. Go to grandcentralhealing.com. That's my website. Go into the shop and you'll see my readings there. So thank you. And I will join you next month. Thank you. Welcome, Gemini, to your magical pass for the month of September 2025. And when I would call your reading, of course it was the world that was the most profound energy of the reading, calling for you to have a profound rebirth, resurrection, rejuvenation. But what I feel was also very interesting is the appearance in the position of the unexpected of the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands shows beings, wands, like lightning bolts of energy passing through the air, unobstructed, unhindered, unfettered, and to imbibe this unfettered, unrestricted energy into your body, I've decided to give you a magical pass called the piercing of the body with a beam of energy. So let's begin. Let me show you sideways. You stand up straight. Plant your feet down firmly, right underneath the hip sockets. Bring the left hand forward, bending at the wrist with the palm facing outward, and then turn the palm down. Then you do the same with the other hand, turning the palm down. So the palms are facing outward. We begin. You take a deep breath. You bend your knees, exhaling, and you bring the hands out, turning the hands upwards, out, facing out. So you bring it back in, exhale. Then you switch arms, switch hands. And you take a deep breath. Exhale. Inhale back. Switch. Deep breath. Exhale. Inhale back. Switch. Exhale. Inhale back. Exhale. Exhale. And that is a piercing energy through the body, bringing that lightning right into you. Use it when you need energy, when you need to accomplish something right away. So thank you very much for joining me, and namaste.